Okay, as you're aware, your informational interview needs to have multiple parts. Now, basically, there are two main parts. There's scheduling the interview and going and doing the interview. And so that part is 50 points because you can't have an informational interview without actually doing the interview. And unfortunately, that is all of life. There are things you just have to schedule and do, and it's annoying. And so I have a single-page template for that, and you're going to update your actual informational interview write-up with that correct information. So this part one, not only are you going to turn it in before you do the interview, but you're going to then make it the last page of your informational interview. And should you have a change, so should you reschedule or you need to talk to someone else who's better, should you talk to multiple people, you will just update this information and it will be the final page of your informational interview. If you don't include that, I'm going to take 10 points off. Okay, now make sure you contacted the person. Once you've done the contacted the person, do the research. You're going to use Bloomberg Business Week and find out some information on this person's field. So something about this person's field. Go look up news. You need to know news so that you can sound like you know what's going on in the world. You need to read, you need to think, you need to access information. Now, I will give you a little leeway. It says one source must be from Bloomberg Business Week, and that is the correct answer on the quiz. However, I will let you use a Financial Times source as well, if you really want to. You are going to, even if you've already had your informational interview, end this write-up with 3 questions that you took from your research. Now, you can use this person's LinkedIn page, you can use the company's website, you can use other sources to fill out your research on the company. You need 3 sources. One is Bloomberg Business Week. The other 2, I'm going to be much more open to you looking at other sources. Would I prefer more than 3 sources? Yes. Don't waste this person's time. Sound like you know what you're talking about when you go in for the interview. Now you're going to conduct the interview, and then you're going to go back to your research and finish the write-up. Now, in all cases, this is not really how it always goes. Some people have already done their interviews because they are speedy. In that case, just write down your research, your questions, and then follow up with their answers. Do not do this as a Q&A. I asked this question, he responded this. I asked this question, he responded this. Write this up in paragraphs and talk about your impressions and expectations. I expected him to talk about this, this, and this. And when I asked this question, he actually surprised me because he said this. That is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for your input and analysis and how this affects your own thought processes. So you will add that section. So you will have just essentially one whole paper. The first part will be research about the industry, the person, the company, etc. So you'll set the stage. You'll have 3 questions that you wanted to bring to the interview that you thought were important. Maybe, what's a typical day like? What do you like about the company culture? What do you wish you had done differently? Those are 3 typical informational interview questions. And then talk about their answers and your impressions. And if you talk to multiple people, talk about multiple people's answers and impressions. We're looking for a total of at least 5 pages, and you'll submit the paper to turnitin.com. Now, what's it going to look like? You have a formatted example, so if you take a look at the formatted example, it's pretty clear. I have circles and arrows and whatnot, and then you can kind of look at what you would actually be doing here. So, this is what it looks like when you write your paper. So this gives you a sense of how everything is formatted. You don't do this. This is just me pointing things out to you. Okay, so you can download that. I hope you have a good day. Bye.